guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Ray. This is Reality Ray, where we discuss your favorite baddies, reality TV shows, and more. Remember, we do not bully over here, we just keep it real. Hey guys, we're reviewing Baddies USA Chapter 2, Episode 3, and let's get into it. This episode is called It's Showtime, so let's see what it's about. So this episode starts off with the last one left off, E.T. and Persuasion going at it. E.T. tore her. And then right after they get into it, Tinka and Coachella goes at it again. And I thought the last episode Tinka caught Coachella's eye, but I'm pretty sure this was the round that caught Coachella's eye, because this round, all of a sudden, I guess Tinka was catching her. She put her head down and right into the punches. Unfortunately, this is definitely the moment Coachella received her fracture to her eye. So Camilla running around, she's a bully, she's a bully. I came here pretty as fuck. Like, girl, go home. Please and thank you. Amber then calls out E.T. The first round, surprisingly, Amber got that. While E.T. yelled the dead homies, like, girl, don't put this on the dead homies. You got your ass whooped that first round. And she says in a confessional, E.T. says in a confessional, or Scarface says in a confessional, that you've been thirsty trying to get on this show. You've been thirsty trying to get on a show, bringing up anybody and everybody so you can get on a show. You done brought up Summer. You done brought up Tasiki. You brought up Dolly name plenty of times to get on this show. So what are you talking about? Yo, Pressure is so unserious. She sneaks E.T. That is so funny. I'm sorry. It was hilarious. Clocked her right in the head. Honestly, E.T. deserved more than that for jumping that girl. But I digress. So then clout chasing ass E.T., Dolly walks up on her and was like, you here for me, aren't you? You here for me, aren't you? And E.T. cops a plea. You can't make this up. So moving along, it looks like Diamond and Fauna were about to square up, but then DTB looks over to Ivory in production and she's like, I have a performance tonight. So low-key copping the plea because she doesn't want to be beat up for her performance, which I totally understand. If I were to cop a plea, it would be to look cute for my performance, if nothing else, right? So then out of nowhere, E.T. and Persuasion pieces it up. I'm telling you, these girls are actors and actresses, bro. Like, they literally be like, yo, we're going to fight so we can get on the show. Let's get this bag. Like, that's what it gives. There's no way. There's no way. And here go Persuasion clout chasing ass. Just say you wanted to have a problem with me so you can get on the show. Just say you wanted to have a problem. Girl, first of all, both of y'all started with people that were already on the show so y'all can get on the show. So let's cut out the clout chasing comments, even ET making clout chasing comments. Let's cut out the clout chasing comments when in all actuality, y'all both are clout chasers. Let's keep it real. But all of this even the faces that ET are making, like, it just seems like she's an actress. Like, oh my God, it's bad acting at that. So ET makes a great point. She say, when y'all argue with people, y'all try to hit below the belt and try to hurt people. I don't know how to argue. I know how to fight. Now, girl, you used to know how to fight. I don't know what's been going on lately, but you used to have hands. We gonna see. We gonna see. It's only the third episode, but we gonna see. So then E.T. looks at Mariah and go, you want to get it over with? What? Almost like they already spoke about fighting once. You want to get it over with? Y'all don't hear this stuff? Y'all don't see this? It's like, it's very much scripted. You want to get the fight over with? And then here goes Mariah in confessionals. Give me my 20%. Yeah. Yes, because you and Dolly helped her get on the show. And very bad actresses. Very bad. Oh, I'm so sick of baddies. So 5 seconds after the fight, to confirm my suspicions, E.T. and Mariah hugs. Come on, y'all. We're not that stupid. Like, maybe some of the kids that watch the show, they're a little slow, but, and not no disrespect to anybody, but it's just like, there's no way. There's no way y'all want us to believe that this beef is real. And then even Daisy called it out. She's sitting there watching and she was like, and now they hug and these girls are so fake. And she said these bees are so fake, but it's true. It's true. Like, you guys don't really dislike each other. You guys squabble and got it over with, like E.T. said, so you can be friends for the rest of the season. Next, Pressure was having a conversation with Dolly. And then out of nowhere, Tavy decides to run up. So it would have been more of a tie, but then security grabs Pressure's arm as Tavy is still swinging. What is going on with security? Y'all don't know how to secure anything, honestly. And if you're gonna grab one person's arm, grab the other person's arm too. Like, why are y'all letting her hit Pressure in the face while you're holding Pressure's arm? Like, oh my God. It's just hard to watch sometimes. So out of nowhere, ET is like, my eyes are burning. Something's wrong with my face. And then next scene, she's screaming. They're trying to put water in her eyes. And as they're putting water in her eyes, Wet Wet is literally behind production that's trying to put water in ET's eyes. She's literally behind them dancing. Wet Wet is so unserious. So then fake Tasiki walking up to ET, you know, defense and trying to check on her. Like, didn't you just tear this girl? I mean, it was a while back, but I guess you can let things go, right? And then you have Mariah, and Mariah literally just fought ET like 10 minutes ago. And she takes her sweater, it's clean, it's my sweater, and puts it on ET's face. Like, oh, y'all are not beating these allegations. Yo, Biggie has been holding this food for 2 episodes now. I really cannot. And this is why she had to sign that contract with Zeus as far as like her music goes, because she would not be on the show otherwise. Like, you're literally watching all of these girls fight while you're eating a big ass platter of food. And she got the nerve to be one of the highest paid baddies. Oh my God, I cannot. Zeus loves wasting a check on a baddie. If Zeus doesn't do anything else, they have extra people, filler people that don't need to be there. And I'm saying that they're wasting money, but maybe they do serve a purpose. Maybe they do serve a purpose. And especially last season, Baddies USA Chapter 1, there were so many filler girls, especially some of those OG girls that was just lingering throughout the entire season, but wasn't fighting anybody, wasn't even getting camera time, wasn't doing confessionals, wasn't doing a damn thing. But somehow they were there. I wonder why. I wonder why. Zeus, you're not beating the allegations. So then Amber comes and get a cheap shot from ET while she has the sweater over her head. Amber, you're gonna get what's coming to you, baby. You are. And it's so sad because I really used to be an Amber fan back when she was on Jocelyn's Cabaret. I was an Amber fan, but this version of Amber, I just cannot. I like the chef Amber. I like the Amber that used to like to cook for everybody and defend her blackness. I like that Amber, but this Amber, y'all can have it. And in addition to that, I just remembered Amber was sitting at a bar after they filmed this season. And she recently just said that ET snuck her while she was chilling. She was taking a shot, and ET just cracked her out of nowhere. And she gained and garnered a lot of sympathy getting online. Even I agreed with her, like, hey, if you're not filming and I'm not getting paid to fight you, you shouldn't be putting your hands on me. X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. I was popping it just to find out that when this girl had mace in her eyes and her face was completely covered, you cracked her upside the head. And it's like at that point, all gloves are off. If I get my lick back before, after, or during the show, it doesn't matter. At that point, all gloves are off. You deserve every sneak you got from ET. And then you turned around and got the girl arrested, knowing that you snuck her too. And knowing that you snuck her while she was injured, more so than anything. That's the difference. It's just beyond me. Amber is very self-centered. And although I think ET should have gotten that back while on set so she wouldn't have gotten arrested, Amber deserved it. Production is trying to talk to Amber and they're like, yo, you're wilding. You're hitting everybody. You even hit me. And she's like, wait, I hit you? And she's like, yes, that's why I'm yelling at you. Like, what are you doing? Amber needs to have a seat. She's doing too much trying to prove herself. And it's coming across as a little thirsty. It's so funny. Ciroc is like consoling ET like, oh, get me a Coke, get me a Coke. I know that's right. Get you some allies, girl. But what I noticed is everybody was saying, this was Tavy, it was Tavy. Even she said it was Tavy just for persuasion to come out and say, hey, it was me. You know? And I just find that interesting how everybody was willing to dogpile on top of Tavy and say it was her that actually attacked ET with the mace. But, Persuasion actually admitted that it was her. I honestly think she admitted that it was her because they were going to find out anyway and she didn't want to get sent home. That's just my theory. She admitted that the mace was actually for pressure, which is crazy, Persuasion, because both of y'all can't fight. So I'm guessing TT says she felt some type of way about Persuasion using mace. She didn't think it was right. So she got up on Persuasion. I just think you saw Persuasion fight multiple rounds and you saw she couldn't fight. So you're like, boom, easy storyline right there. And then she gave you the catalyst. She gave you the excuse, like, oh, she used mace on someone and I didn't like that. So I hit her. So now TT gets to fight someone that can't fight all season. And girl, I see what you're doing. And you're tiny, so I understand it. But it's like, go fight somebody else kind of small that could fight. Like, you could pick a beef with Fauna. You know what I mean? But you're not going to do that because Fauna got hands. So you're going to pick with Persuasion. Like, it's just very interesting to me how she involved herself in that and she had nothing to do with it. And also what it gave, Emery had mentioned in confessionals, like, you were right next to me and then you fly your ass down there to go fight. It gave everybody's fighting. All the baddies are fighting. If I don't fight, they're probably gonna send me home. If I don't get into something, I'm probably not gonna get camera time. I'm probably not gonna get a baddies chain. That's what it gave, respectfully. So I didn't know Daisy had beef with Persuasion. What was that about? So then Persuasion or Daisy run up on Persuasion and Persuasion like, I'm not fighting this girl. And production step back. Like, yes, you are. Yo, Zeus is something else. Like, what if Persuasion chest was hurting or she's had a lot of fades up until this point, right? So what if she really literally couldn't fight back? And y'all still let Daisy run up on her and do the super windmill. I cannot. So moving right along, we got Camilla outside like, I don't want no ice. I want a doctor. I want a PhD for this tiny little lump on her head. Like, girl, why did you come? Why would you come and embarrass yourself like this? Why would you come and embarrass your legacy like this? And to be honest, I don't even think they sent her home because she got tore. I think they sent her home because of the aftermath. I need a PhD. I don't need no ice. I need a PhD. Like stuff like that. They're just like, we don't want to deal with that. Let's just send her home so we can deal with the cast members that are actually going to be entertaining, that are actually going to get in the paint, that are actually not going to be like, I need an actual PhD after getting socked in the head. Like, girl. So Biggie is talking and she's performing, and I love this new song of hers. I heard her on YouTube a while back. Um, it's really dope. And she's like, you guys want to be the best fighters, I want to be the best performers, and you bitches are in my way. That was cute to say. But Biggie, you came onto the show knowing that it's a fighting show. Even the DJ gets clocked up and smacked up. The DJ. So you're not exempt. Just because you're performing, you're not exempt. Let's make that clear. You're not exempt to getting your behind whooped or getting slapped. You get no special privileges. In fact, the baddie CEO gets her behind whooped every now and again. So why would you think you're exempt? And DTB been doing music way longer than you. And DTB, if anything, is the baddie's rapper or the baddie's entertainer or whatever. There's baddies on this show that has had hits. And even they don't feel like they're above fighting. Like, girl, if Natalie can get in the paint and it's her show, you're going to have to get your ass in the paint too. Or get off of here. That's that on that. And here go Daisy. These chicks are airheads up here, but I'm here for the reckoning. Girl, you going to be up here for 5 seconds. So then Daisy tried to get at Rolly, and security is wrestling and fighting with Daisy more than anything. Like, she can't get to Rolly. And side note, Daisy said this is partially why she left because they weren't letting her get to Rolly. Not only that, there were some things going on behind the scenes that I'm going to talk about later. Rolly's up there shaking it and popping it and throwing it because the male security guards are up there. We already know she sleeps with the security guards on the show. That's not alleged. That's a fact. She had a whole affair with an engaged security guard that was on the show. So you up there throwing it and popping it and yelling and screaming on the stage in front of security is not really impressive because we already know why you're doing that. Okay? Sit your hot ass down. So I guess we can get into it now. So Daisy basically said online that one of the security guards, I might actually do like a little video on it. Daisy said that one of the security guards grabbed her by her arm. She tried to go outside to get air, and they wouldn't even let her go outside to get air. And he like twisted her hand, and she was just over it. She didn't feel safe, and that's why she ended up leaving. But I'm gonna do a video on that and let her tell you guys herself how she felt. So Daisy leaves the show, and you know, that's such a shame because she has so much to offer. I feel like the show is going to be a totally different vibe without Daisy being there. And we'll never know what the show would have been had she stayed. So next scene, Summer None Other walks in, and she says in confessionals, like, I hope no one touches me because I look good. But then, girl, you turn right around and come on set like Dolly, Rolly. And I mean, I get it. Like, a lot of people was like, why did she come on set like that? Why did she come on set yelling? And it's funny how Big Lex said the last episode she wasn't going to put her hands on Lex. But when you see Dolly run up to kick Summer, Lex is behind and security is holding Lex as if she was trying to run up on Summer too. So while you're in confessional trying to say, I'm not going to put my hands on Summer anymore, that's easy to say because you know you didn't put your hands on Summer. But while you were in the moment, you were trying to. Security is clearly behind Summer trying to hold Lex back right after Dolly tries to kick Summer. So it's like, why are you still trying to attack her? Like, why are you still so pressed? I understand why Dolly rolled up and tried to kick her because Summer said her name. And I understand why Summer said her name because Dolly put her hands on her. And then Summer had just fought Rolly at the reunion. So it made sense for her to come in there yelling their names, you know. And people didn't like that. But it's like she just fought both of them. Why wouldn't she say their names? But I digress. So then Summer and Dolly gets into a fight, and Dolly didn't do as great as she did the last time. But what I will say is, what is going on with Summer's fighting skills? Summer used to at least take that one hand and really try and swing it and really hit people in the face with it. Even when she fought Ivory in Africa, Ivory had a knot on her head. A lot of people was in denial about that, but I seen it. Ivory had a huge knot on her head, and when Summer tried to talk to Ivory right after the fight, Ivory was like, "No, leave me alone. Don't talk to me," because Summer connected. What is going on with her fighting skills since she's not with the big three anymore? I don't get it. Like, she's falling, she's grabbing things. She falls and grab things more so than anything else. Is it because you're drunk? Are you off substances? Are you intoxicated somehow? Because why do you keep falling back like this? And I can't even say it's because she's drunk because everybody's drunk. Production gives everybody Don Julio. A few scenes ago, I seen one of the production members with a giant bottle of Don Julio. So that most certainly was Don Julio in the last episode that I saw in Amber's cup and I saw in Egypt's cup. But my point is, it's like, you guys are all intoxicated. Why is it your fighting skills have suffered exponentially compared to everyone else's? I'm just confused about that. Like, take that hand and swing it, do something. She just keeps falling and grabbing stuff, and it's so frustrating to watch her get beat up, you know? Before with Summer, it could go either way, and now it just goes one way. So then Ivory sneaks behind Rolly Big Ass, and she sneaks up on Tavy and kicks Tavy in the back. When they squared up, Tavy had her at first. Like, everybody be giving Ivory so much credit, bro. But even when Pressure squared up with Ivory initially, she had her until ET jumped on her back. When ET jumped on her back and dragged her to the ground, then she no longer had it. But my point is, when Tavy was just fighting Ivory, bro, she had her. And then Ivory kind of like kicked back up and it became more of a tie thing. But it's not like Ivory tore her this round. But I hear that she tears her next episode, so we'll see. Okay, next round, I take everything I just said back. Next round, Ivory tore her. Straight in the face, straight punches, no filler. So then Tavy in a confessional says that, Ivory and our beef wasn't that serious, it was made up by the fans. No, it came from you also admitting to seeing what the fans saw, which was Ivory constantly kept holding your hands down in Africa while she let her friends Coachella beat you up, you know, and she don't even do that to help Cold Killer and them fight Tinka, but she'll do it to help Cold Killer fight your ass. But my whole point is the beef wasn't made up. It was very valid. You should have got that back in Africa. That's really what it was about. You should have fought Ivory back in Africa, and you didn't want that with Ivory. You didn't want that with Ivory because you didn't want those straight punches. You didn't want those straight punches to the face. That's why you didn't. If Summer breathes too hard, you want it with Summer. And it's so interesting because Ivory said, "You've been talking about me online." So do the fans not hear these baddies say other baddies talk online? Do y'all not hear it? So when Ivory said Tavy talks about her every day online, y'all didn't hear that, but y'all always hear when the petty two says that Summer talks about them online. That's the only time y'all hear about a baddie talking about somebody online, but y'all don't hear this. She literally says that's why she wants to fight Tavy because she's talking about her every day online. They all talk online, guys. So let's get over Summer is the only one that talk online. We've already established they all talk online. Damn. Ivory tore pressure so crazy. She had to look down at her hand after she rubbed her face. Like, am I bleeding? Like, all face shots. Like, damn. And this is why you cannot put your head down with somebody that could fight because they're just going to eat your face up with their fists. You cannot be so scared that you put your head down. That is the last person you want to put your head down with. Somebody that can actually fight. They're going to beat your ass. It was all face shots. Like, oh my God, that was so brutal. Oh, pressure. Pressure is under pressure. On the dead homies. On the dead homies. They be killing me saying that. But anyway, I digress. Whoo, pressure. You said in confessionals that she was fighting you but not good enough. Girl, she's eating you up. And you're too tall for that. Ivory should barely be able to connect. Let's be real. Ivory should barely be able to connect. And now that Ivory got the extra weight off her back, she moving even faster than she was in Midwest. This is dangerous. And this is even more proof, right? That ET and DTB were dead ass wrong. The fact that Ivory ate this girl up so crazy, that just lets us know that y'all did not need to jump in those fights at all. Y'all did not need to jump in. I'm still mad about that. I don't care. I'm on y'all next. So then ET sneaks pressure and knocks her all the way to the ground. Now that makes me want to take everything that I said back about Amber because all of you bitches are sneaking. All of you, you already jumped her. You already jumped her. Your friend already tore her and lumped her up. Why are you sneaking her? And I get it. She tried to tag you back and she hit you in the head, barely hit you in the head, a few scenes back. But you know you deserve that because you jumped her. So all this sneaking her and knocking her to the ground, you punched her so hard, you knocked this big woman to the ground. And that's not saying much though. It's pressure with them cheap ass shoes again. So maybe that's not that big of a deal. But still, I can't feel that bad that you got snuck when you out here sneaking people and jumping people. Like all is fair in love and war. And if you're gonna be sneaking people and jumping people, you deserve to get your ass snuck. That's just how it go. Period. Mind you, it hasn't even been 30 seconds since she's fought Ivory. So she's already gotten knocked down by ET. As soon as she stands up, Persuasion runs up and sneaks her too. So when pressure needs that later on in the season, Persuasion, you're going to have to get that. You're just going to have to take whatever's coming to your non-fighting ass. Because why would you jump on that girl when she was just fighting other people? Like the baddies, they don't play fair. They really don't. You could be damn near having a heart attack. They will still jump on you. And then here go ET. Happy birthday. I forgot it was her birthday. I cannot. These girls are just crazy. You sneak me on my birthday, it's up for life. You hear me? It is up for life. It's up for life. I promise you. So Summer walks in popping it and she's like, y'all gotta do them bees like y'all did me. Right. It's crazy how they could do that to you, Summer, but they can't do it to each other. But anyway, so then she goes, Roly, Daisy still need that. For real. She really does. And Rolly up there smoking, chilling, sitting cute, sitting pretty, or sitting hefty. But girl, you need to be sitting in the paint. You need to be getting in the paint. Zeus, stop paying this girl unless she's gonna get in the paint. Because if you really are on injured reserve, you shouldn't have been able to fight anyone else. That's for one. And for two, you shouldn't have shown up like the first couple. Y'all filmed for like 40 days. You shouldn't have shown up the first 2 weeks. Straight up. First 14 days, you should have had your ass home. Respectfully. Biggie ain't said nothing this whole time. Soon as somebody comes into the scene that she could beat, Summer, we're at rehearsal, hitting her hands and everything. Where was this energy for anybody else? Where was this energy for Tasiki? Why weren't you screaming and hitting your fist and hitting your hand and talking to Tasiki? But you're talking like that to Summer, of course. And then as soon as she start yelling at Summer, you hear Dolly in the background. You hear people. They love dog piling on Summer. They love dog piling on Summer. And that's why she's Beyonce. And that's that on that. So Persuasion runs up and Summer hits her pin before Persuasion runs up. Quick story time about those pins. So I had a pin when I used to work and I used to be a canvasser and we would walk for miles and it wasn't the walking that affected me, it was the pins. Like those pins will make your chest hurt. And you're hitting this pin that's affecting your heart, that's gonna make your chest hurt right before you fight. Like, I don't think that's intelligent. I don't think that's smart, Summer. But what I will say is against Persuasion, it's funny how when people fight people that they're not afraid of, they do better. When Summer fought Persuasion, she actually was swinging and throwing punches and actually connecting. She actually connected to the point where Persuasion's her mask went over her eyes and went over her head. Persuasion was tagging her up too, but it was more of a tie than a beatdown. So then Big Lex walks up on Ciroc, and here go Mariah, a little chihuahua. I can't stand Mariah, bro. You can't stand on your own too. You could have called Ciroc out by yourself. But as soon as Big Lex walk up on Ciroc, there you go. You talked about my mother. Like, get your little ass out of here. And that's why when she beats you up later on in the season and gives you a black eye, I don't feel bad for you. Here go Lex. You ain't make eye contact with me all day. You ain't to me all day. Ciroc, like, go with your move. Bust a move, Lex. You talking too much. Now, I've already watched this episode. I'm about to watch this fight again because I'm tired of the debate online whether Lex won, whether Ciroc won. We're about to settle this. So I actually recorded this already and didn't realize my mic wasn't on. And I'm actually glad my mic wasn't on because I watched the fight again. So the very first round, which was only like 15, 20 seconds, it was a tie. I was gonna say I was gonna give it to Ciroc. I did give it to Ciroc. I'm glad I watched it again. Zeus editing is trashy because when they cut back to Lex throwing her punches right before security got in there, you can see there was a cut scene prior to that. And I think that's the scene that Lex is talking about when Lex keeps saying, that was it? And I was getting her and da. They cut that scene out. And I feel like Zeus is cutting scenes out to paint certain narratives, to dethrone certain heavy hitters, and to make people look a certain way. Because I really did think Ciroc got that first round, and I had to rewatch it, and I was like, wait, there was a cutscene, and right in the middle of the cutscene, Lex is eating Ciroc up right there. So I'm gonna give that first round a tie. I watched the second round. Ciroc was backing Lex all up into the wall. I don't even think we can contest that that was Ciroc. So first round a tie, second round Ciroc, and I'm about to watch the third round. Before they can even get the third round started, Tasiki's already trying to jump in. Like, Tasiki, wait your punk ass turn, please and thank you. You had 90 business days to try to fight Ciroc, and you wait until she's fighting Lex. Like, girl, go sit down. The third round almost could have been Ciroc's. It almost was Ciroc's. But toward the very end, Lex caught that eye. Lex tagged that eye a couple times, and then it was over. But if I'm being honest, even the second round was a tie. But that would mean the fight was a tie. Ciroc got the first round, or it was tied the first round. Ciroc got the second round, and then Lex gets the third round, and almost lost the third round till she caught her eye. She was very happy when she caught that eye started cheesing and yelling and jumping up and down because she knew she almost lost that damn fight. I've never seen Lex this happy after a fight. But yeah, I would say that they tied, bro. They tied. You got to give it to Ciroc. They tied. She is definitely proving herself to be one of the heavier hitters. Just saying. So Summer is saying, "Where is Ivory?" I pray she's not saying, "Where is Ivory?" to fight her. I really, the way Ivory just did Tavi, I pray she's calling Ivory for help and not to fight her. Because, girl, she about to tear you up if that's the case. Here go Mariah. Why don't you run it with Tasiki? Because she started running it with other people first, and then Tasiki wanted to fight. Had Tasiki wanted to fight when we were watching Line That Ish Up, Line That Ish Up by DTV, when we were watching that scene on loop over and over and over and over and over again, Tasiki had 90 business days to run up on Ciroc, and she didn't want to. She didn't want that. So now that she's fighting Lex and she's out of breath and she got this eyelash in her eye that got her shit burning and hurting. She got eyelashes in her eyes. She's out of breath. Her hands hurting. And now Tasiki wants to fight her. Of course. Of course, now that she's been weakened, now Tasiki wants to fight her. Like, girl, sit your ass down. And then Mariah's confessionals are so cheesy. Call her Uber Prius. Get her up out of here. Like, girl, you're corny. Sit your behind down. So I'm going to assume she did fight Persuasion, and I just don't remember because she definitely just said that Mace is burning the F out of me. So while fighting Lex, I think Ciroc actually did start tearing up a little bit because she's like, all this for me? All of y'all trying to fight little old me? And that's when Lex was like, but you were popping it online, oh, da-da-da. And she starts tearing up a little bit. And I think that's when the mace gets in her eyes. So everybody keeps saying, oh, Lex got that eye, that eye, that eye, that eye, that eye. That mace got that eye, respectfully. But if I really had to like give it to somebody, I'm gonna say it was a tie. I would have said I'm giving it to Ciroc, like I said before, but I'm gonna say it was a tie for the simple fact that I saw that edit during the second fight, and Lex was literally punching her in the face mid edit, and I'm like, what happened prior to that edit? So, anyway, so next scene is Natalie and Lemmy. They're getting on a private jet, to go to Coachella. I'm very proud of Natalie. She's come a long way from selling cat in Africa. Now she's getting on jets. And it's another interesting thing that the baddies don't get to go on jets anymore. I guess it's just reserved for the CEOs now. But anyway, she's performing and Lemmy's ad-libbing. He didn't really have to be there. I don't know if they performed their song that they have together, but the song that they have together, no one really knows, if we're being honest. Like the hits that Natalie has, they're like with other baddies or they're by herself. So anyway, he's just there, he reminds me of P. Diddy a little bit, how he just used to be all up in the videos and has nothing to do with the song, but all up in the videos. Let me just want to be all up in the performances, all up in the videos. And he's come a long way from bleeping out his face, I'll tell you that much. So now the girls are getting cute. The girls are getting ready. They're getting ready to go to the club. It was a few standouts. Like, I won't lie, Tinka stood out to me. You could tell when the girls have money, they have full glam squads. Lex stood out to me simply because she has a glam team too, but I don't really care for Lex's outfits. Like sometimes it gives wrestler and DTV as well. Like her outfits, I love the fact that it was themed. I love the fact that it was USA themed, but even when she walked out, she had to hold her boobs because she didn't feel comfortable. And it's like you don't feel comfortable because you're not wearing real clothes. Like this is stuff that you had a designer put together very fast, might I add, and you can tell it was put together very fast. You know? And it's cute and it's unique and it's costumey, but I would want something more put together and more tailored and just look better. Especially if I'm going to be on a platform like this. But that's just me. But Summer looked very cute in her pink. Amber, she looked like she was about to go to a cookout. I'm not even gonna lie. Like with that jean suit on, and that just goes to show You could tell Amber ain't get the baddies check yet. I heard they get like an advance, but she ain't get the full check yet because she's still looking like, it's her first season. And that's okay. I can't wait to see her next season. Hopefully she glows up. So my mistake, it wasn't a club. They're getting ready to go to another performance, and Natalie and Lemmy just did Coachella, and now they're doing another performance. Like she's definitely doing her big one. I'm proud of them. And so Cold Killer and Tinka performing this same song that's very similar. They need to hang it up, you know. And Cold Killer has had this song out for years. Remember, 1 million views. The song got 1 million views because you've had it out for years. And your fans has had years to keep going back and listening to the same song, especially once you got on Baddies. But my whole point is that song has been out for years, and at this point, the song that DTB and Tinka has been out for years as well. Hang it up, flat screen, please. Put some more, music out there, and let's do something new. Let's do something fresh. Like I'm tired of hearing the same songs over and over and over again. Hell, Ivory pays for ghostwriters. Ivory had a ghostwriter, so if you guys need ghostwriters, just do that. And honestly, most people in the industry get help. Even some of the most famous performers, some of the most famous rappers, they all get help. They all have to give writers credits to people because they don't write their own music, and that's just that on that. And I'm saying that to say the baddies could do the same thing. Like stop rapping these same songs over and over and over again, please and thank you. And Tasiki, I'm not off you either. B, you know I eat. That song been out for like 4 years now. Like, hang it up. I don't want to hear it anymore. So then Bahati comes out with the frame with Hurricane M's hair in it, and it's just like, girl, you could have done anything else. You could have come out and done anything else. You could have just support another baddie and danced on stage. But anyway, like Hurricane M said, thank you for promoting my hair brand, and it's coming out soon. And that's definitely what you just did. You just helped her sell some hair. If she's really like that, because some people would talk about it and not be about it. So who really knows? But somebody let me know in the comments if Hurricane M is actually selling hair. So you got TT, Hurricane M, Pressure, and they're so messy. Pressure and ET in a section together. And ET just launches herself at Pressure for no reason. She claims Pressure was picking with her, but girl, grow up. You guys are at a performance. Who wants to be messed up? And then apparently it's Pressure's birthday, and people are trying to fight her on her birthday. This is the only thing I don't like about this show. It's like girls really have no couth and they really don't care to the point where they will fight you on your birthday. And who else saw these kitten heels that Roly had on? What type of heels are those? What are those? So is F Dolly, right? But she looks so cute for this performance. Like, oh my God. The graffiti fit, the orange and blonde, everything just ate down, even down to the big ass gaudy Playboy bunny necklace. Like, everything ate down. Like, I might do that for Halloween or something. Might even do it for my birthday. I don't know. But she looks so cute. So Summer's performing. I love her outfit. She looks cute. But they really did do a number on my girl's face. Like, I feel so bad. But aside from the negatives, her friend back there, DJ Sky, got her back because she's actually helping her rap and ad lib and is making the song sound better because you can tell Summer is drunk and she can barely perform. And she's off key and offbeat. Natalie makes a great point that last season, which was just literally a few months ago, you guys were booing Summer during the performance, and this season, uh, they weren't booing her. And she's like, you guys are the messy ones. No, you guys are the messy ones because they were booing Summer in that town, but the following town, I'm pretty sure she was going to be in the DMV where she's from. The following town, y'all should have let her perform simply because it was her hometown. It was where she was from. So why would they boo her where she's from? Like, make that make sense. No, y'all, and the fans are messy too because the fans are very flip floppy, but we can't just blame that solely on the fan base. Like, you guys have to take accountability. You guys were bullying Summer last season, and you guys were going more and leaning more towards taking Dolly's and Lex's side of things. So you guys were being shady. Similar to how on Bad Boys, you guys had Cozy hand select just a few people to go to the club. Why would you guys do that other than to create drama? What other purpose would you have Cozy choose one or choose 1 to 5 people or however many people you guys told him he can choose? What would be your reasoning behind having him do that other than to cause drama? Just like you guys selected a few girls to perform when everybody should have been performing. You guys like to do these things to create drama and then you call the fans messy. No, y'all are messy. The producers are messy. Line that ish up. Oh, line that ish up. Oh, you think you tough? Are you? Oh, you line that. Hey, I'm just saying, like, only this song is old too, but I have to be just a tiny bit biased simply because this song actually fits. Like, even I Eat, that song kind of fits the theme, even though I think we've heard it too many times. It fits the theme of the show. Be you know I eat, and then her saying line it up, that fits the theme of the show. I kind of could understand people performing those songs over again because that's what the baddies do, they fight. But even with that being said, ladies, we need some new fighting songs. We need some new ones. Call the ghostwriters, please. And thank you. So Stunna Girl shows up. They have the dramatic music for her too, like she's iconic or something, which low key for Baddie, she kinda is. But, you know, Stunna, I think it's messed up that you got Ivory jumped and you won't even give her like one fade. She should have been like Zeus. Like, in order to fight Ivory, I need 50 bands, but I'm only giving that bitch one fade. One good fade for her to beat me up. Even if Zeus be like, nah, you gotta do 3, 4. You know, you should have fought Ivory and given her that. I know she would have tore you, but you got that girl jumped. You got her jumped. And stuff like this, and there's actually rumors that production got her jumped, but that's allegedly. I don't know that to be true. Another vlogger said that. I don't know that to be true. But I'm saying this to say, right? This is why things get sticky outside of the show. Because if you get me jumped, the way that she got Ivory jumped, and nobody's allowed to touch her. She's just a performer. She's only going to show up when she's on stage and heavily secured and heavily guarded, right? You're going to make me touch this girl when she's at a booking outside of work. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're going to make me touch this girl when she might go outside to get her DoorDash order or when she's going to a performance or where she's go. And this is why Stunner Girl got shot because she's grimy. She's grimy and she doesn't allow people to get their lick back, which I totally understand you shouldn't. But this is why people want blood when they see you. Like when Ivory catches that girl, she's gonna do her so crazy. And Ivory, use stop spending all of your money. Like Ivory brags about blowing through her money, but you need to hold on to some of that money so you can have people around you. So when you do run into a stunner girl, her glam squad and her friends aren't beating you up, or her game banger friends aren't beating you up. And to be honest, I don't even think those were like game bangers that was beating Ivory up. I think that was like her glam team. Like, keep it all the way 100. So just make sure you got people with you so you can actually square up with her and give her that fade, because Zeus is never going to let it happen. And who knows what Lemmy is doing behind the scenes? Who knows what Stunner Girl is doing behind the scenes? We already know how the girls get special privileges. So you don't want to be on the other side of that special privilege. Like, oh, let me get her jumped or give me her addy or whatever, you know? So just get you some security or get you like a team around you. And if you're blowing through all of your money, respectfully, nobody's going to want to be around you. And that's sad to say, but it's just the truth. There's no benefit to being around you if they can't get some type of monetary benefit or clout, right? But that night, Ivory was by herself. And I'll rather you be around a bunch of clout chasers that could protect you if something goes wrong than you being by yourself. She does not need to be by herself, especially after getting jumped like that by Glam Squad. Zeus editing team is so trash. They bleeped out Ivory Face by mistake. Like, what is going on? That's funny. And I think that's one of the bad boys sitting back there that they bleeped out too. But anyway, Fauna is in her dressing room and, DTB walks in there talking about this is my dressing room. And I just find it interesting that when this fight is about to go on with DTB and with Fauna, both of them have their friends there. You have Cold Killer and you have Ivory there. And both of their friends are smiling and cheesing. And even DTB and Fauna are cheesing. And it's like, I'm tired of these fake fights that you guys have so you can stay on the show. Let's have a friendly fade. And DTB makes it seem like she want to get that and she want her lick back from, the reunion or whatever. But all of that, I have a performance. I have a performance. If DTB really wanted her lick back, she would have got it when they were at rehearsal, like everyone else. And that's just that on that. You wouldn't have waited until she was in the dressing room to be cheesing and smiling and laughing with her. It almost gives you guys already talked it out. You guys already worked it out. Maybe Fauna already apologized. But it's like, we still have to get that for the show, girl, right? Yeah, right. You right. Let's get this bag. Let's get this check. That's what it gives to me, and I'm tired of it. This is why Baddies Gone Wild is so much more authentic because they don't have these pre-contrived notions. And then Ivory makes it a point to say in confessionals, they just need to fight a few times and then it's over with. I just find that interesting because when it's other girls, you guys want to run it season after season after season. But I digress. So now they're serious, they're not smiling in each other's faces anymore, they're frowning and they're ready to fight. So they get up fighting. It's a bunch of theatrics. You can tell the first fight they weren't really fighting, they were smiling at each other still, throwing water at each other, jumping up and down. But then Fauna started to get frustrated, like, oh, you want to fight again? And she was like, all right, this time I'm going to really give it to her. And I'm like, so why you didn't really give it to her the first time? So then they square up for, you know, 11 business days. And they square up for so long. And then they finally fight. And DTB caught Fauna in the face like one good time. And you heard Ivory go, ooh. And then Fauna started flailing and fighting really hard. After that, the fight was over. So I'm over DTB and Fauna. So next scene, you have Biggie performing. Everybody's loving it. You can see the budget is budgeting because Biggie's budget is just way larger than everybody else. She has a full production team. She has dancers. You can just see that they put more money into Biggie than anyone else. After Biggie's performance, and it's unfortunate because ET squashed her beef with everyone else, but she pulls Pressure's wig off on stage. Mind you, it's Pressure's birthday. And it's just interesting to me that, you could squash it with Mariah Lynn, you could squash it with Persuasion, but on Pressure's birthday, you couldn't even just let it go just for that day. Like, beat her up tomorrow. Like, I don't like them getting beat up on their birthday. There's something about it that's just, I don't know, it gives me a bad taste in my mouth, but whatever. So after, ET falls, that's it. That's the end of the episode. The girls are just twerking on stage. And so that's a wrap for Baddies USA Chapter 2, Episode 3. I appreciate you guys coming through and, hearing me rant. And if you like the video, hit like. If you want to share it, hit share. If you want to leave a comment to talk about what we've talked about or what we've gone over, I should say, leave a comment. And I appreciate you guys. Have a great day, lovelies.